Autumn has returned, just like that. The air carries a familiar chill, and the leaves are beginning their slow descent, painting the city in shades of gold and crimson. For Min, this season wasn't just a change in weather. It was a reminder, an anniversary of the day he first met Vi. This year, however, he had something special planned. Something that would turn a simple memory into an everlasting promise. He rented out a small, intimate art gallery, a cozy space with warm wooden floors and soft lighting. He spent weeks meticulously preparing, driven by a single, powerful emotion. He called it The Woman I Love. It wasn't just a photo exhibition. It was his heart laid bare for her to see. Each photograph, carefully framed and hung, was a moment he had stolen with his camera, a testament to his affection. There were pictures of her laughing with her head thrown back, lost in a book at a quiet cafe, her brow furrowed in concentration. There was one of her staring out a rain-streaked window, looking pensive and beautiful. Each image captured a different facet of the woman who had unknowingly captured his soul. The evening arrived, crisp and clear. Min stood nervously by the entrance, his hands tucked into his pockets. He had told Vi they were attending a friend's art show. When she walked in, her initial, cheerful chatter died in her throat. Her eyes widened, scanning the room. She froze, a look of pure astonishment on her face. It was her. Everywhere she looked, it was her. In black and white, in vibrant color, candid shots, and posed portraits. It was a gallery of her life, seen through his eyes. She turned to him, her voice a whisper. Min, ... What is all this? He just smiled, a gentle, reassuring smile. He took her hand, his touch warm and steady, and began to walk her through the exhibition, his own personal museum. This one, he began, pointing to a photo of her helping a child who had fallen. This is when I knew you were kind. Your first instinct is always to help, to soothe, to care. You do it so naturally, without a second thought. He moved to the next one. A picture of her passionately debating a topic with friends, her eyes alight with fire. And this, he said, his voice full of admiration, is when I saw your strength. You're not afraid to stand up for what you believe in. You have a fire in you that inspires everyone around you, he continued, from one photo to the next, narrating the story of how he fell in love. He wasn't just showing her pictures, he was showing her herself, through the lens of his love. He showed her the moments she thought were insignificant, the quirks she was self-conscious about, and explained how each one was a reason he adored her. Vi's eyes began to well up. A single tear escaped and traced a path down her cheek. She was seeing herself not as she critically saw herself in the mirror, but as someone cherished, someone deeply and completely loved. The raw emotion in his voice, the sincerity in his eyes, it was overwhelming. She felt seen, truly seen, for the first time in her life. Unseen by them at the back of the gallery, Hong had just arrived. He stood in the shadows, his hands in his pockets, a quiet observer. He saw the tears on Vi's face, but he also saw the radiant happiness shining through them. He saw the way Min looked at her, with an intensity and devotion that left no room for doubt. A pang of sadness hit him, a familiar ache, but it was softer this time, less sharp. Min then gently let go of V's hand and walked onto a small stage at the front of the room. The soft chatter of the few invited guests quieted down. He picked up a microphone, his gaze finding Vi in the crowd. His voice, clear and steady, filled the room. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. He paused, taking a deep breath. They say life is made of moments, small, fleeting moments that we often let slip by. But sometimes one of these moments is so profound, it changes everything. His eyes were locked on Vi, who was trembling slightly, her hands clasped in front of her. I met the love of my life on a golden autumn afternoon, Min confessed, his voice thick with emotion. She wasn't doing anything extraordinary. She was just standing under a tree, with sunlight filtering through the leaves, and she smiled. And in that one simple, ordinary moment, my entire world shifted on its axis. A collective sigh went through the small crowd. Vi was now openly crying, her heart swelling with an emotion so powerful it felt like it might burst. Min stepped off the stage and walked towards her, parting the small crowd of friends. In his hands he held one last photograph, larger than the rest, in a special frame. He stopped in front of her and presented it. It was that exact moment. The photo captured her, bathed in the golden light of the afternoon sun. A cascade of autumn leaves around her, a genuine, unburdened smile on her face, the one he had just described. Then he did something unexpected. He went down on one knee. The crowd gasped, anticipating a proposal. But Min wasn't holding a ring. He was holding the photograph, holding up this memory, this proof of his love. He looked up at her, his eyes earnest and full of a deep, unwavering promise. "Vi," he said, his voice soft but firm, "I'm not asking you to marry me tonight. I'm promising you something. I'm promising you that no matter what happens, no matter the arguments or misunderstandings we might face, no matter how tough life gets, I will always, always choose you. I will always fight to find my way back to you, just like I did." That was it. That was the promise that healed everything. The past arguments, the misunderstandings, they all melted away in the face of this profound declaration. Vi let out a sob, a sound of pure catharsis, and threw her arms around his neck, burying her face in his shoulder. Min wrapped his arms tightly around her, holding her as if he'd never let go. The room erupted in applause, a warm, heartfelt celebration of their love. From his spot in the back, Hong watched them, a sad but peaceful smile gracing his lips. He saw the completeness in their embrace, the perfect fit. His chapter with Vi was truly over, and he was finally okay with that. Just then, a gentle voice beside him said, "She looks happy. It was a mutual friend." She gave him a knowing, compassionate look. "You deserve to be that happy too, Hong. I have a feeling you'll find someone who is even better for you." Hong let out a soft laugh, a sound that felt surprisingly light. "Maybe you're right," he said, a weight lifting from his shoulders. He felt a sense of peace settle over him, a quiet acceptance that brought not sorrow, but a strange sense of freedom. Later that evening, the exhibition was over. The guests had departed, and the city had grown quiet. Min and Vi walked hand in hand through a familiar park, the same one where so many of their memories were made. Golden leaves crunched under their feet, the sound a gentle rhythm to their steps. The air was cool and Vi leaned in, resting her head on Min's shoulder, a comfortable, perfect fit. They walked in silence for a while, just enjoying the peace, the feeling of being home with each other. The fallen leaves swirled around their feet, dancing in the gentle breeze. Min stopped and turned to her, tucking a stray strand of hair behind her ear. He looked into her eyes, his own reflecting the soft glow of the park lamps. Lee leaned in and whispered, his voice a warm breath in the cool air. "This autumn, and every autumn after this, stay with me." Vi smiled, a tear of pure joy slipping from her eye. "Always," she whispered back, sealing their promise under the golden canopy of the autumn sky.